Okay, welcome back to the training again. So we discussed the four food safety hazards. What are the four food safety hazards? What is the physical hazards, chemical hazards, and the biological hazard? And the fourth one is the allergenic hazard. Now we discussed the physical hazards. Examples like your hair, stones or glass pieces, metal pieces, your nail pieces, can be ring pieces, or anything can be visible with your eyes, are contaminating our food or falling now, or present or introducing in our food, which is not the part of the ingredients of the food. Definitely it's called a physical hazard which can cause your internal organ damage, can be a chronic diseases later stages. And the chemical hazard, we discussed the same, which also coming through the food item, can be through the pesticide and fertilizers, or can be a cleaning chemicals which is being used for a cleaning purpose. If they're not rinsed properly, that's also going to be causing the food poison. Clear? The third hazard, which is a biological hazard, which is actually very important hazard and causing a food poisons, right? Biological hazards, it's simple, but it's a very major subject. Our major enemy is actually a living organism which can't see with your naked eyes, which we need microscopes. We call it microorganisms, which is one of the biological hazards. There are different kind of biological hazards. Can be a parasites, can be a virus, it can be a bacteria. So in general we call it biological hazards. So where the biological hazards are coming, it's coming from different sources, and once the biological hazards comes in our food item, it's going to be multiply and causing a food poisons. So we call it the microorganism causing food poison. We call it a pathogen. The people or the human being causing illness, bacteria or microorganism called a pathogenic microorganism, which will multiply in our food item and causing food poison. They produce a toxin within the food or after you consume the food item, that also will cause internal toxins, that's also causing a food poisons. So some food items or food contacting surfaces may have viruses or parasites. A parasite is mainly for a seafood item will have a parasite, chef. So that's gonna be not going to be multiply, but rather it will be present in the food. So once you consume it, that will start to multiply from your body, because parasites and the viruses required a living host cell to multiply. Okay, so where the contaminations are happening to a food item, it can be from a food handler, you as a person, food handlers, right? It can be from your hands, through your body, through your uniforms. If you don't do a proper hand washing, it can cause food poison. It can be from our facilities, through our kitchens. If the kitchens are not cleaned and disinfected properly, the stewards are not using our D4 disinfectant for all the surfaces areas, then the bacteria will be still alive. They will not be killed off, right? That can be contaminated. Contaminations, what was the contamination means? Yes, the presence or introduction of any object, any kind of harmful item to our food items. It can be from your equipments. What are the equipments? Can be your slicing machines, right? Maybe your cutting boards, maybe your knife. If it's not cleaned, through the knife can be multiplied. This all a source of utilities. Your waters, they have a water are safe to drink, though if you don't maintain our pipeline, if you don't do our water tank disinfection. Recently, last week, we have done our water tank disinfection. Remember, we said that's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It will be highly chlorinated. Why be highly chlorinated? Because yes, we need to kill the microorganisms present in the water line system. So if we do disinfection or pipeline disinfection during the to make sure that the utility, the waters which we're supplying are 100% safe. And any materials, the raw material which you are buying from a supplier, can be a dry food item or chilled item or frozen item. It must be microorganism or microbial safe, free. So that's why we also doing internal the supplier verification audit to maintain to make sure that they also maintaining their premises safe, their food item at the right temperature, And also our processes, we should follow the adequate control on during a processes, right? Cooking time, chef is maintaining the temperature of cooking. When storing the food item, they are maintaining the chiller temperature, and when they're reheating again, they're maintaining the temperature. So the process also we have to maintain during processing time. In terms of like marinations, if you're not wearing gloves, if you don't do proper hand washing, after the hand washing, if you don't wear your gloves, and without wearing a gloves you marinate with your bare hands, you're going to be contaminating your bare hands, whatever the bacteria, to the ready to eat food item. So during process we should follow the adequate process control, otherwise the bacteria also will come. Yeah, so these are the material, these are the area, water plumbing we all discussed. These are the area where the bacteria are contaminating. It's we call it direct contamination. There can be a cross contamination. Do you know what is cross contaminations? Yeah, the bacteria are transferring or moving or mobilizing from one area to another area. They will not fly, right? Because they need a modem to transport from one area to area. So through your hands can be can be transfer from one area to another. So imagine this is a raw food item, right? Raw chickens, raw meat. We know that there are potential pathogenic bacteria there. Can be a Campylobacter or Salmonella or E. coli. What kind of bacteria it is, you name it, it will be there. So we are not going to eat this raw food item, raw chicken, as a raw, right? Because we know it's going to cause a food poison. So we have to cook well. So we do have a proper color coding system. What color we are using for meat? Definitely. So we have meat, red color cutting boards. We should use a red color knife only. Why? Because we don't want to cross contaminate. Now what happened is it's a blue knife, for example. It's a blue knife we're supposed to use for, very good, it's supposed to use for only for seafood. Now the seafood knife actually used to cut a red meat, which is of course going to be used for a salad preparation. So imagine salad preparations, cutting boards, green color, knife must be green color, and it also we follow our CCP number 3. What is that? Sanitation of washing and sanitation of fruits and vegetables. So the product is already washed and sanitized. That means it's ready to use, ready to eat, and should be used only the sanitized knife, right? Now they used a raw slicer knife to have a ready to eat food item. That means this contaminant, this bacteria from here been transferred to here, called cross contamination. Means with the use of the modem of a vehicle called a knife or your hands can be. And same way another mode, the same knife, same salad being used for ready to eat salads. Another way, stewarding team members, they have started cleaning with their towels or tissues, whatever it is. They use the same materials, same towels for a raw meat area, let's say butcher area, and the same towels are being used for our salad preparation area. So that means, see, whatever the bacteria there on the raw preparation, which is the butchery area, been contaminated in the salad area. So this is also another way of contamination, right? Now another thing is the pest. We always discuss that a pest sighting, very important, you have to report. Why? Because once the pest is there, they will not sit in a beautiful or amazing or well-maintained area. Where they're going to sit? Of course, they will be sitting in the dirty place. They will be in your drainage, right? In your the garbage area and the garbage room. So whenever you see any pest can be flies or many kind of cockroaches or drainage flies, fruit flies, anything. You must be reported to me or reported to the PIC, reported to the housekeeping team, so that we can call immediately our approved pest control team to find out the breeding spot, where the breedings are happening or where the entries are happening, so we can stop entering the pest, and also make sure that we don't have any pest on board in our kitchen, so that if in case the pest is there, what happened? They will sit on the garbage area, maybe they will sit on the uncleaned area or cleaned area, and they're gonna come in in our salad or ready to eat item. That's also another part of cross contaminations. Again, it might not be happen during your presence. The pest comes during your absence, as we mentioned, which is our enemies.